Welcome everyone! Let's jump straight into it today. We are exploring Chapter 2 from Ariel M. Cisney's book, and we're looking at the majesty of monotony, but we're doing it through this incredibly vast cosmic lens. We're going to strip away some of those everyday illusions we all walk around with and look at the fundamental physics of being human. If you've ever stopped and wondered what it actually means to exist as a conscious being in this universe, well, you're in the right place. Let's explore it together.
Right off the bat, I want to start with an exercise I like to call the mirror anchor. Do me a favor and physically look down at your hand right now. Seriously, take a really good look at it. What do you see? On the surface, you see skin, right? You see creases, maybe a few scars that kind of map out the things you've experienced. It looks like one solid, cohesive object. It looks like you. But we are absolutely going to challenge that surface-level reality today, because just beneath that skin is a microscopic world operating by rules that are literally alien to our everyday human experience.
Okay, let's dive into this. Imagine a cinematic zoom, starting from the macro and diving right down to the micro. We start at the epidermis, those creases on the hand you just looked at. But as we zoom in closer, we hit the phospholipid bilayer, those protective outer walls of your cells. Go a little deeper, and we find the twisting spiral staircases of your DNA. And if we go even deeper than that, the solid world completely dissolves into subatomic particles. We literally go from a solid, tangible hand into swirling clouds of quantum probability.
Which brings us to our first major concept, the biology of the multitude. The reality that you are many.
To really wrap our heads around this, we need a massive paradigm shift. We walk around all day saying I and me, totally buying into the illusion of a single, indivisible self. But the stark biological reality is that you are a superorganism. Inside every single one of us is an actual multitude. What you consider your individual selfhood is actually a giant aggregate of microscopic organisms, all collaborating, competing, and grinding away to keep this massive walking ecosystem, you, alive. Think of it like a highly specialized cellular army. You've got blood cells acting as the transport vehicles, shuttling oxygen from your lungs to the outer edges of the ecosystem. You've got enzymes acting as microscopic construction workers, literally building your bones and muscles. You have dozens of different types of immune cells, and their only job in the world is to fight off foreign invaders trying to steal your resources. And here's a funny, slightly gross reality the source points out. When these brave little cells finish their tour of duty and die, new ones made from the food you eat replace them. And the old cells? Well, they just pass right through our waste. You are constantly, literally flushing away old pieces of yourself. Now, to really grasp this, you have to feel the scale. 37 trillion. That is the estimated number of individual cells in the human body right now. To put that completely wild number into perspective, our source notes that 1 million cells could comfortably fit onto a single grain of sand. You are a walking, breathing continent to these 37 trillion individuals. Like I said, you are many. Moving on to our next layer, the E equals m squared connection.
As we zoom past the phospholipid bilayers and past the DNA, we actually leave biology behind entirely, and we hit the raw, fundamental physics of existence. We all know E equals mc squared, right? Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. But what that actually means in plain terms is that matter and energy are the exact same thing. Mass is just bound up, hyper-concentrated energy. So when you step on a bathroom scale, you aren't just weighing meat and bone, you are weighing pure, tightly wound cosmic energy.
And because mass and energy are completely interchangeable, the atoms making up that hand you were looking at earlier, they didn't just pop into existence out of nowhere. They were forged in the cores of stars billions of years ago. The exact elements that allow your cells to communicate and your heart to pump were literally cooked up in the uniform energy of the early universe. It is a literal, physical fact that you are made of stardust. There's really no other way around it.
So understanding this subatomic foundation is absolutely crucial. When we look really closely, we find that atoms are mostly empty space. Actually, scratch that. It's not truly empty. It is absolutely buzzing with electric fields. Every single thing you see, touch, and feel is held together by molecular bonds maintained by the electromagnetic force. And how does that force communicate? Through the exchange of photons, light. At your absolute core, you are just held together by particles of light bouncing back and forth between electric fields.
Let's start zooming back out with our third concept, quantum biochemical circuitry.
Okay, so let's rise back up from the quantum realm and see how this intense physics translates into your daily life. Let's look at your senses. Sight, That's just packages of light, photons, crashing into your optical nerves and sending electrical signals to your brain. Hearing, that's just physical vibrations traveling through quintillions of air molecules until they smack into your ear sensors. And touch, this one is crazy. When you push your hand against a desk, you aren't actually touching it at all. The electrons in your hand are simply repelling the electrons in the desk via that electromagnetic force. Every single thing you experience is basically just a chemical reaction or an electrical signal.
But all those signals have to go somewhere, right? They all report back to mission control. The human animal is entirely unique because our genes code for this incredibly complex social brain. The entire network of nerves running through your body is really just a quantum biochemical circuit, and it runs entirely on electromagnetism. In fact, it takes so much effort to keep this massive circuit running that your brain alone consumes a full 20% of your body's energy.
Get ready for a little scale vertigo here. 86 billion. That is the number of neurons crammed into a space roughly the size of 2 clenched fists inside your skull right now. It is an almost unimaginable density of processing power.
And because of those 86 billion highly connected neurons, you are walking around carrying the most complex object in the known universe. It's an absolute marvel. Just think about it for a second. Cosmic dust and quantum mechanics, forged inside dying stars, arrange themselves so compactly and with so many intricate connections that it somehow sparks consciousness. It creates the miraculous plasticity that allows you to wonder about the universe itself.
Which brings us to our final takeaway, the citadel of living specks.
Synthesizing all of this, our journey from the visible skin down to the quantum fields and right back up to the conscious brain, brings us to this really profound philosophical understanding of who we are. I want to read this visually stunning quote directly from our source material because it hits the nail on the head. You are an enormous citadel made of living specks and a speck sitting on a drifting pebble floating in the great ocean of space-time. It so beautifully anchors the reality of who you are. You are literally the universe experiencing itself. You are a collection of memories housed inside a superorganism powered entirely by starlight.
As we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final, deeply provocative framework from the author. Shifting gears to a slightly different metaphor, think of your existence almost like an enterprise or a computer program. The book is the source code, the tutoring is the training, the CFO is the runtime, the portfolio is the output. Given all the ancient cosmic energy and unbelievable biological complexity running inside you right now, what is your output going to be in this vast ocean of space-time? Honestly, think about that the next time you just happen to look down at your hand. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.